welcome to the No Spin News, Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Stand up for your country. I told you so. I told you that the speaker thing would work itself out. Now we have a new one. Mike Johnson, Republican, of course, from Louisiana. He got 220 votes, so he's a new speaker. And right away, the left-wing press, and I'm going to get into this more tomorrow because I got so much to tell you about tonight. They're hammering Johnson about election 2020. You know, it never ends. We have Senator Ron Johnson, no relation to Mike Johnson, going to analyze this and a few other things. There's also a media display about the Donald Trump legal matter, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So, as we reported yesterday, Jenna Ellis, former Trump attorney, pleaded guilty to a felony count in Georgia of aiding and abetting false statements in writing. And basically what Miss Ellis admitted to doing was telling Georgia elected officials false things to try to stop the Electoral College certification of the presidential election. And that's what she did. Okay. So she got in trouble because the millions of people who were in the fraudulent election camp, and this holds to this day, believe what they want to believe, led by their leader, Donald Trump, who wanted to believe the election was a fraud. Still, to this day, he wants to believe that. And he has a perfect right to believe that. And so do the people who support that. You have a perfect right to believe that the election was a fraud. But you can't say it's true. You see, there's a difference between belief and truth. Under the Constitution, you can have all kinds of beliefs. But if you're going to make direct accusations that a presidential election was a fraud, you got to be able to back it up. Particularly if you try to influence people to change that election. Are you with me now? So Donald Trump cannot be charged with believing the election was not honest. Can't be charged with that. He can be charged and has been with trying to interfere. And that is a fuzzy word, interfere. You gotta prove it's true. So all day yesterday and early this morning, I had to go through the Mark Meadows situation. Mark Meadows, as you remember, was the White House Chief of Staff under Trump, 21 and 20. Okay, he was in there less than 2 years, but very influential man at the time. All right, he's a former congressman from North Carolina, 64 years old, and I really have never met him, but I thought he did a competent job. Now, he was charged with these similar charges to Jenna Ellis. He made a deal. The government's not going to prosecute him. All right. And then he'll tell the government everything that he knows about this Georgia situation. Okay. And other situations. That's the deal. He can say anything he wants about Donald Trump, Mark Meadows. I mean, the media uses the word flip and this and that, but it's all hearsay unless he can prove it. Because Trump's going to deny it. You can't, Meadows has got to have more. Now, in this country with due process blowing up, press doesn't care about that. Not one whit. They've already convicted Trump. The liberal press has already convicted him. And they want to, because that's what they want to believe. It's the same thing in a reverse cycle. But as far as the legal ramifications of this, Mark Meadows goes in and says, well, I told Donald Trump that it was not a fraudulent election. I told Donald Trump it was not a fraudulent election. I told him it wasn't. And the reason I said that was because I have asked all the principals, and I did, and you know that because you follow me. All right, let's see what you got. They had nothing. It's exactly the same that cost Fox News $1 billion. So they ran around saying that the voting machines are fraudulent, and they weren't. Or if they were, nobody can come up with any kind of evidence to prove it. You can't do that. So when I'm listening to all this flipping and flopping and this one and that one, it's all BS. But the press loves it. They love it. They want to destroy Trump. Now, here's what I said on News Nation last night with Chris Cuomo. Go.
How big a deal is it to you if Meadows and 3 of the attorneys go bad on Trump? How would they go bad? By making assertions that he knew what he was promoting was false, and that he either through them directly or indirectly tried to manipulate public officials to serve his cause.
Well, I'm not going to speculate on that. Why would I do that? That would be irresponsible. If somebody has proof that Donald Trump did what Jenna Ellis did, tried to dissuade somebody from certifying an electoral vote, and they bring in hard evidence to show that Trump did it, then Trump's going to get convicted.
Because elections don't work on hard evidence. They work on feelings more than facts, and speculation is the name of the game.
Well, then he's not going to get convicted. Right. If emotion is, and that's what it's all about right now. Right now. Things could change. So the point of the matter is that, and I've said this probably too much, I'm probably too repetitive in this area, due process in America does not exist anymore, which is why I wrote Killing the Witches. The cancel culture has obliterated it, and the media is gleeful about that. Whatever the media wants, the media is going to try to get. They don't care. You just heard Cuomo admit it. Oh, elections, it's all about emotion. All right, but you don't convict people of a crime based on emotion. Now, Ms. Ellis admitted that she did it. Trump's not going to do that. All right, that's the memo. Joe Biden had a busy day for once. It was Australia Day in Washington, D.C., and the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, and his girlfriend, Jodie Hayden. I don't know much about the Australian government. It's pretty far away. When I visited, I had a great time there. But they had a press conference, and there was one very disturbing to me, part of the press conference I'm going to play tomorrow because I got to research the reporter who did it. I never saw her before. Before I go into it, I want to research the woman. But it was pretty outrageous what she did. But Biden, he didn't really have anything new to say. He didn't know how to call on people, the usual fuzziness, but nothing of note. Now, there's a big dog and pony state dinner tonight. This is a good story. And there are 300 people involved, which is costing you and me, the taxpayer, I don't know, about $300,000 to put this state dinner on for the Australian Prime Minister. Okay. They all do it. But the guest list is secret. It's a secret guest list. Why? We're paying for the dinner. I'd like to know who's eating on my dime. Why is it secret? All right. So we do know that the vice president and her husband will be there. And then some Australian athletes will be there. And the band, the B-52s, will be there. This is a really interesting story. If you don't know the B-52s, here they are. Go. It's like the state dinner tonight, right? So they were supposed to perform the B-52s and do Love Shack and a few of their other hits, Rock Lobster or whatever. But they're not. Nobody knows why but me. You know why they're not performing? Because they're big trans people. That band is backed all of that trans stuff. And the White House went, maybe not. The band is still going to the dinner. Maybe they'll sit with Hunter. I don't know. I would doubt Hunter will be there, but Biden's pretty arrogant. So we'll tell you tomorrow who shows up. But that's why the B-52s got deep six from reporting, because they didn't want that trans stuff coming back to hurt the Biden administration. Australia, by the way, a very good ally, and we need them with China. Japan and Australia, we need them, and South Korea, of course. Okay, Joe Biden been busy spending our money in addition to the big dinner tonight. Last 2023 fiscal year just end. The government goes October to October. Wait, ready? The Biden administration spent $6.13 trillion. Record, nobody's ever come close. Okay? The government took in $4,444,000,000. 2 million deficit in the hole. Now, Biden goes out and says, I'm the deficit cutter. Remember that? How many sound bites? I'll play one for tomorrow. Okay? I'm the deficit. I cut the deficit. Record deficit. What does he care? Biden doesn't care. He's going to be dead by the time this comes back to collapse the U.S. economy. It's not going to happen overnight, but it'll happen unless Congress passes a balanced budget amendment, and there's not one Democrat in the country who'll vote for that. Not one. So Biden just spends and spends and spends and spends. And a lot of it's just wasted. Doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't do anything. But why does he care? He has to buy votes. Democratic Party has to buy as many votes as they can to even be competitive next November. You have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these very tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows that and continues to give back with deals on his most popular products. And now there's great news. The MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. Their proprietary technology makes them absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you want in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. For a limited time, get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 when you use the promo code BILL. That's a 50% savings. So please go to mypillow.com or call 800-869-0298. Use promo code BILL to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. This is just $39.99 for a set. That deal will not last long. All right, let's go to the mail. Lauren Patrick, Boca Raton, Florida. O'Reilly, thank you for your coverage on Israel. I feel so hated by the media as a Jewish American. Thank you for making me feel understood. I've always been a fan, but now you are basically my hero. Well, I appreciate that, Lauren, but some perspective for you, okay? 70% of Americans support Israel. That's a big number. 70%, according to polls. Number 2, the media always does the negative thing. Always. And the progressive far left hates Israel. So you combine the two, and that's why you're getting what you're getting. Number 3, there is anti-Semitism. There is. There's no doubt about it. But most Americans, particularly Christians, really despise that. So I'm glad you're watching, Lauren. I hope that is a little bit of comfort. Kathleen Concierge member, I believe any person in Congress who spews hatred and defends Hamas should be ousted from office. There's no mechanism for that. I mean, you can't just oust somebody from Congress. They have to be voted out by their constituents or violate the law. You can't just kick them out. Vit Sochadal, Vancouver, Canada. Hey, Bill, in today's memo, you said Israel must comply with the Geneva Convention if they enter the terrorist-infested Gaza. I do not think that Hamas savages bother to comply with the convention while murdering civilians. But I don't understand the letter. You're not saying that Israel should act like Hamas, Vit. I know you're not. You're a long-time watcher of this program. I know you're not saying that. You don't sink to that level. You've got to maintain your righteousness. Now, 100% Israel has to destroy Hamas. But it should be done surgically. Read Killing the Killers. We did it. The United States did it with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. It can be done. Rebecca Lopez, Anaheim, California. I have a straightforward question. What really happened when the Israelis took back their land in 1948? The UN voted to give the Jewish people a homeland in Palestine. Their boundaries were formed so that all of the displaced Jewish people in Europe and Russia, remember, Russia persecuted Jews too, Stalin, all right, Soviet Union. So they had nowhere to go. So the United Nations, because Palestine is the Holy Land where Jews emanated from, they carved it out. And as soon as that was done, President Truman recognized the state of Israel. That is the story. Molly Concierge, remember tonight you mentioned Joe Biden's age and disorder. In my opinion, Trump has the same issues. He's 78, and he has all the legal situation and the absence of his wife and daughter on his circuit. You keep reporting that Trump is a populist, so why doesn't he run as a populist, not as a Republican? Because most Republicans support Donald Trump, so why would he do that? But he's not a doctrinaire Republican, but most Republicans support him. You run on a ticket. And as far as his cognitive ability is concerned, that's up to you. It's up to you, up to the voter. Tommy Bergeron, Houma, Louisiana, outside of New Orleans. Matt Gaetz reminds me of a little kid at the ballpark who didn't like the game, so he took his ball home and nobody else was able to play. All right. Joseph Giacomo, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Speaker McCarthy was booted because he didn't keep his word. He agreed that he would not allow the Biden administration to continue bankrupting the country. Okay, but you have to get enough votes to accomplish that. And with the Senate being controlled by Democrats, that wasn't going to happen. You got to be realistic. Got to know where you are. Jerry Groen, Libertyville, Illinois. I watched the Exodus movie and read the book. Thank you, O'Reilly, for the recommendation. I now understand a lot better the issue in the Middle East. Okay? That is, in my opinion, the best way to go. Movie and book. All right, I want you to go to BillO'Reilly.com store. Last 3 days for the Fall Madness Bundle. Killing the Legends, Killing the Killers. Vital to read now if you want to understand what's going on in the Middle East. And any mug of your choice for $42.95. Get a jump start on holiday gift giving. Next week, I'm going to announce on Wednesday after Halloween one of the best gift giving things I've ever done. That'll be Wednesday, but get the fall bundle here. Word of the day, do not be unctuous. UNCTUOUS. Hard to spell. Unctuous, but we don't want you to be that. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. Name and town if you wish to opine. Back with a final thought that will disturb you. With Medicare's annual enrollment period quickly approaching, choices matter now more than ever. And that's exactly what you'll get when you work with AMAC's Medicare Advisory Service. You know that I've mentioned AMAC before. They are the conservative alternative to the AARP. Their focus on pro-America values is evident when you call them and speak with their knowledgeable U.S.-based advisors. You'll get top-notch guidance in selecting from dozens of plans, and these choices are not something you will get from AARP's Medicare. AMAC's Medicare guidance is always free of charge. There's never any obligation to buy. Best of all, there's no liberal agenda. So stop supporting companies who do not support you. You have a choice. Do Medicare the right way with AMAC's Medicare Advisory Service, 888-355-5605. Or you can visit amac.us/trust. All right, here is the final thought of the day. So every day I write a message on BillO'Reilly.com. You don't have to be a premium or concierge member. You can just go there and get it. Free. My Sunday columns, free. A lot of the stuff we have on BillO'Reilly.com, free. If you are a concierge or premium member, you get more services and a free book and big discounts. All right? But you don't want to do that? We understand. You can go and read the message. Today's message, and listen to this. 36% of New York City school children are truant. They don't show up. 36%. More than 1 in 3. Who's doing anything about it? No one. Did you know that stat? No. Teachers union? Don't care. Governor? Don't care. Mayor? Yeah, okay. 36%. So what happens? Well, these children will grow into adults and they'll go into the underclass because they don't know anything. They cannot make a living. Covered with tattoos, cannot speak without 8 obscenities in each sentence. They don't even know what a sentence is. Barely can you understand what they're saying. Impossible for them to make a legitimate living. Crime. These are the young people in the drug gangs who will kill you with a blink of an eye. No way. Sell fentanyl? No problem. We'll do it. 36% don't go to school. What do you think is going to happen? And unfortunately, we will meet up with some of those kids in our lives. And it's not going to be nice for us because they live in a totally different world, a lawless world where they're desperate. Now, what kind of a parent would allow his or her child not go to school? Substance abusers, derelict parents, parents who don't care at all, abusive parents. Not entirely the kid's fault, but there's no mechanism at all, none, to deal with this. None. It's coming. 36% New York City. And I submit to you, the other cities, just as bad. Okay, on that happy note, cheery note, right? I want to thank all of you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. I believe it is the best news service in the country right now. You can reach me at bill@BillO'Reilly.com, bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Name and town if you wish to opine. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.